Do you find it hard to express your emotions? Have you been told it is weak to cry? That it is unhealthy to express your feelings? This is fucking bullshit. For generations, we have been meant to believe that it is a form of weakness to express ourselves, a form of weakness to cry. And this is especially true for men. Men have been told to man up, that big boys don't cry, that it's not masculine to express your feelings. This is one of the biggest lies that we have been told for generations. The most healthiest thing you can ever do is express your emotions. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. One of my biggest triggers is how, like somebody saying men shouldn't cry. It's not manly for a man to cry. It's not right for a man to express his emotions. A man said this to me years ago and I went nuts. I was like, crying is one of the most healthiest things we can do. It's one of the most healthiest ways we can express our emotions. But men from a young age have been told that it is wrong, that it is weak, and that they have to keep their feelings inside so as not to be, non-manly, non-macho. This is what leads to mental health issues. This is what leads to suicide. This is detrimental for men's health. Now, this can be any gender, but I specifically today I'm going to talk about men because it drives me mad. There is absolutely nothing wrong with crying. And I've seen this actually with women as well. I haven't cried for years. Why? Because you've been told as a child to shut up. Because you've been told to stop crying. And that affects our inner child to this day. But especially for men, a man tries to live up to his father's expectations. And because of the cultures and the conditioning that we've gone through for generations, there has been this false, toxic, masculine persona, this patriarchy where you can't, you can't cry or your father won't love you kind of shit. Like, this is fucking bullshit. And it drives me wild. It just grinds me because it is so healthy to express emotions. And men are still living in this caveman mentality because of their upbringing, because of this I am man, I build fire fucking mentality, that they think that they can't express their emotions, that it's weak to express their emotions. And this drives me mad as well. A man goes into a relationship and thinks that he needs to be the provider, the protector, and that he has to be the material, provide material things and provide the money. But times have fucking changed. Us women don't need to be protected anymore. Things are equal when it comes to finances. A woman wants a man to show up emotionally. That's the stability we want to see. And when a man cannot express his emotions or feelings, this leads to an imbalance within himself, but an imbalance within his relationships as well. You know what I mean? It leads to a barrier between him and the people he loves. And it leads to a barrier between him and his true self as well. Because, if you're holding in this energy that you're not releasing, these feelings, these emotions, this leads to a volcanic eruption, and it will come out in other ways. It comes out in addictions. It comes out in aggression, and other kind of ways, unhealthy ways. And this is because a man has been told it is weak to cry and express their emotions. This leads to an imbalance within their soul. So they end up trying to be more macho in other ways, which is actually kind of toxic. They try to be more aggressive, or more, bulked up, or they gamble or they drink as a way of feeling, masculine, macho. But this isn't right. This is not healthy. When we bottle up our emotions, when we bottle up our feelings and what's inside, this leads to pressure. Pressure. If you try to stuff something down into a box and then try to put the lid on it, it's not gonna stay there. You know what I mean? It's gonna eventually explode. It's like a volcano. It's going to erupt. You know, and this is men and women. We have to be able to express our emotions in healthy ways so as not to lead to this pressure. It's like a pressure cooker going off. You know what I mean? And it drives me wild just thinking about how men are so still suppressing their emotions to this day. Afraid to express themselves because of their upbringing, because of their parents, because of the way their father treated them. You know, and there was a lack of affection in the household. They believed that affection wasn't healthy or it was outside of the norm. But emotions are so healthy. Expressing yourself is so healthy. Being vulnerable is a superpower. It really is. It takes action. Like, people think that being vulnerable is weak. People think that expressing your emotions is weak. It is not fucking weak. It actually takes an awful lot of strength, an awful lot of courage and bravery to open up your heart, to open up your emotions. And, you know, I think it's actually quite attractive to see a man crying. And I don't mean that, I don't like to see anyone crying. But for a man to be okay in himself enough to actually express himself and not feel weak, like, you know, not care what anyone thinks. Do what's right for them. Because this is what's detrimental to mental health, is not expressing ourselves, keeping things within us, hiding our true feelings. You know, and if you get into a relationship, you know, and you know, you don't express your feelings to your partner, and this is either or, male or female or whatever gender you are. If you don't express yourself to your partner, this leads to like this wall. And your partner is going to think that they did something wrong because you're suppressing these emotions. Do you know, and this leads to like paranoia and fear within the relationship. But when you open up about what you're feeling, when you communicate what is hurting you or what is within you that needs to be expressed, this can lead to more balance in all your relationships. You know what I mean? There's none of that, you know, trying to read each other's mind thing. And this goes for women as well. You know, women turn around and go, I'm fine, and then expecting the man to read her mind. And then when he doesn't read her mind, she gets angry with him. But this kind of goes both ways, because if a man doesn't express his feelings, the woman is kind of going to go, okay, what's wrong? Is he cheating on me? Is he with somebody else? Or has he gone off me? Does he not like me anymore? Whereas in actual fact, he's probably just kind of going, you know, I have emotions that I'm trying to bottle up and be macho, you know what I mean? I'm going to go out and fucking build a fire. Do you know? And this is leading the woman to feel paranoid about her own self. And this leads to insecurities. Communication is so fucking important, but communication to yourself is important too. You know, you don't have to cry in public. You don't have to. If you don't want to express, if you're not ready to express yourself in front of somebody, do it on your own. Let those emotions out. It is not weak to cry. You know, and like, I've heard this with people, I haven't cried for years. I'm just like, whoa, that's got to be tense. You know what I mean? I cry all the time when I'm happy or when I'm sad. But especially when I'm releasing unhealed trauma, I cry and I purge that shit out of me. If we're ill, we need to sweat toxins out of our bodies to heal. When we have trauma inside us built up for so long, it is going to get toxic and come out in unhealthy ways. Like anger and addictions. We don't want that to happen. Release that trauma out of your body through tears. Even scream into a pillow or something. Do you know what I mean? Get that shit out of your system. That's what it's about. Like, and don't, like, you know, stop listening to the lies of generations before us. I've said this in another video. Our ancestors were fucking toxic. I'm sorry, but they were. The way they lived, the way they treated women as well, the way they didn't express themselves. Do you know, this was fucking toxic. So we are here to break the curses. And, you know, this is why it's so important for men to start being emotional. Is because we're trying to break that false system. Like, what do you want for your children? Do you want your children to grow up like that as well? Like your young boys to grow up into that kind of mentality, where, like, you know, suppression is the key. No, it's not. This is so fucking unhealthy. We have to start changing things so the future generations can change as well. You know, you're not less manly because you're expressing yourself. To be honest with you, us women think it's actually more attractive and more manly for you to open up. Really, genuinely. And, like, you know, we don't need to be protected materialistically anymore. We need a man to meet us on our level. We need a man to meet us emotionally. We need a man to be emotionally intelligent. We don't need you to be the breadwinner anymore. We can provide our own, we can build our own fucking fires, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? This is not what we need for stability anymore. And this is what men still have in their mindset, is that I have to build a house, I have to provide money, food. Look, that's a part of it, but we don't need you to provide that for us. We can provide that ourselves. We need you to be with us emotionally and, you know, on an energetic, a spiritual level. And that's the thing about spirituality as well. Men are afraid to open up to their spiritual awakening due to this mindset of being deemed as weak. If they go outside the norm of society, they're, you know, what will everyone think kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. And I believe it still stems back to the fact that they didn't get the affection from their father. And that way, in a sense, then they believed that showing emotion was weak. So therefore, there's this unconscious belief within their inner child that if they show emotion, their father won't love them. That's what I really believe, because of the generations before, because of that inherited belief. Men are afraid to open up. Men are afraid to express their emotions. Men are afraid to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is strength. It really is. It is a fucking superpower. It is not weak. You know, it is so brave to own your shit enough to be able to express it, to face your trauma and let it be released through tears rather than through anger. You know, like, I've grown up and all I've known was anger. My father, my uncles, my exes, they were aggressive men. You know, and even when I was working in factories, like, you know, I just saw aggression in men, especially Irish men. Pure aggression. This is because they haven't, this macho thing anyway. Like, Jesus actually reminded me, fuck, back when we were going to the clubs as teenagers, 18, 19 years of age, the boys used to go out with the intention of fighting. They'd put fucking nuts on their fucking knuckles to go out with the intention of fighting. I was just like, why do you think that's fucking cool? It's not fucking cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, this aggression is not cool. We need to kind of remove this aggression and bring more softer energy into this world. Like, we all have a balance of masculine and feminine energy. And, like, I know this because I was more in my masculine energy for a very, very long time. And I was fucking aggressive. I was fucking macho in a sense. I was fucking misogynistic towards myself and other women. Do you know what I mean? Because of a toxic masculine household that I grew up in, with the aggression I grew up around. You know what I mean? The anger was within me as well. I inherited that toxic masculine anger because of the fucking generations before us. You know what I mean? We need to start changing things so we can remove that anger for our future generations. We need to remove that aggression. You know, we need to balance our masculine and feminine energies. This is any gender. And we need to be able to be soft as well as, I suppose, soft and hard. We need a balance of both. We need to be able to express our emotions. Men need to start understanding that it is not fucking weak to cry. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see a man express himself. It is really amazing to actually see that, because it takes massive strength to be able to be vulnerable. It really does. It takes such courage to open yourself up, to express your feelings, and to be communicative with the people around you about how you're feeling. You know what I mean? It is okay to cry. It really is. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to express yourself. You know what I mean? It's a way of purging that trapped trauma that's within you. And no matter what kind of an upbringing you had, look back and see what kind of relationship you had with your dad, because at the end of the day, whether you had a relationship with him or not, this led to this belief of you can't be crying or he won't love you. You can't be weak or he won't love you. At the end of the day, that's not the way we should be. Our ancestors or previous generations is fucking toxic. We need to break that toxic cycle. Express yourself. Open your heart. Open your feelings. And stop thinking that we need materialistic things. We can build our own fucking fires. We need a man to meet us on an emotional level. So start expressing yourself. Start facing your own demons. Start expressing and releasing that trauma out of your system. Don't let it come out in anger and aggression, because that's not what we want anymore. We don't want that fucking aggression. That's not sexy. That is not sexy. We want compassion. We want emotion. We want vulnerability. We want you to express yourselves. So don't be afraid to open up. Don't be afraid to express your feelings. Don't be afraid to cry. Big boys do cry. It is actually so beautiful to see a man comfortable enough within himself that he can open up his emotions. So thank you so much for listening today, and I hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can help as many people as possible. And if you would like help in your journey, please book me for a discovery call today so I can help you on your path. Thanks again. Bye-bye.